Hello there, and today I will be showing off my Star Wars collection of Lego creations. So over here we instantly have the biggest and possibly my favorite one, the Death Star. This is made out of 3 different base plates and was possibly one of the hardest location builds I've ever made due to the complex angles and various challenges I had to face during the design of the project. Like, for example, making this gray part stick within the structure while having the walls curve out. Up here I've got the super laser, and I kind of cheated a bit using large pieces to cover up the rest of it, but it's fine. Over here, I've got a few micro-scale Star Destroyers, and another micro-scale Star Destroyer flying around. And something you will notice with this is I love to play with scale with my Lego creations. So for example, over here I've got a huge laser, but that is meant to be a normal human scale laser. So over here we start instantly with my attempt of the Obi-Wan Kenobi scene. I did not have a head to use on him, so I used a stud and another piece, and it looks really bad, but yeah, I know that. I only have 2 stormtroopers, so that's why I'm using this stormtrooper here. Down here, we have the biggest and possibly my favorite part of the Death Star, probably the main part too, and it is the landing bay. I have Han Solo, Princess Leia, Chewbacca, Luke Skywalker, and R2-D2, and they are running throughout the landing bay, and they are attacking a stormtrooper, which has a bending arm. And down here I've got the Millennium Falcon flying out of the landing bay. This whole section I made purposely to look white, like in the movie. And then down here we have a laser, which is meant to look like one of the lasers in the movie. And then we have the Darth Vader versus Obi-Wan Duel from the original New Hope movie. Down here, if you can see, this is meant to be the meeting room that Darth Vader meets in, but it is very scaled down because I was running very low on space when I made this a couple of years ago. And there's a droid back there, as you can see. Now up here, I have a few Death Star control men, and they are operating the super laser with all these pipes and tubes and hosing. That's what it's meant to connect to. And then here we have a very interesting looking technique that I did for the wall to kind of close it off and make it look more complete. So you can kind of see how it's balancing on a stud there. Very interesting. And then up here we have Moff Tarkin talking to Princess Leia from behind. There's another laser control man in the room there. And as you can see, we have the super laser destroying Alderaan on the screen back there from the original movie. And then to close off the Death Star, or almost close it off, we have the final duel from the second Death Star from Star Wars Return of the Jedi. And here we have Luke Skywalker facing off against his father, Darth Vader. This is a custom Darth Vader that I made a few years ago, and unfortunately it is very hard to move, but I do feel like it is very accurate to how he appeared in Rogue One specifically, but also most of the other movies. Back here we have Emperor Palpatine, and this is meant to be his throne room this is where he gets thrown down in the movie, which is meant to look like that. Now, to finish off this whole MOC, we have an Imperial agent here operating a laser. But up here, we have the TIE Fighter battle from the first and third movie. So we have a micro-scale X-Wing with a few micro-scale TIE Fighters firing their lasers. And this is just all the various greebling up on the roof. And then up here, we have a custom X-Wing that I made. And then if we move on to down here, we have the AT-AT from Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. And this is basically just the motorized AT-AT set, except I made a base plate for it. We have a stormtrooper flying around on the snowspeeder. We have the wreckage of a destroyed snowspeeder itself. That's where the flame is coming out of. We have a dead snowtrooper and a dead Imperial officer. And then over here, we have a custom AT-ST that I made to look more accurate to how it did in the movies instead of being 20 feet tall like the Lego set was. And then down here we have Luke Skywalker using the tractor cable, or harpoon beam, or whatever it was called in the movie. He is trying to crawl up this massive AT-AT, which is slightly modified, but I think it looks good. Then down here, we have my personal favorite section, which is, well, one of my favorite sections. This is the Razor Crest from The Mandalorian, Seasons 1 and 2. And I would update this, but spoilers, it gets destroyed in Season 2, so there's no need to. This is my custom Mandalorian. As you can see, he has a holster off to the side. And then we have possibly my second favorite Star Wars creation, just because of how much it means to me. We have the Slave One with Boba Fett. This one I took way more care and detail into making and putting all of the details in, since I have never had the Slave One set. And as you can see, it has a function back here with this cockpit. It will drop a thermal detonator down there. It has a closing and opening landing thing down there, and the cockpit does open to allow Boba Fett to sit inside, but I cannot put him in there. So now down here, this is probably the worst Star Wars creation I have, but I made it out of pure necessity. This is Moff Gideon's light cruiser. It does not have an interior and is made specifically to look at, but I do think it looks pretty cool. So down there we've got, if I can put this back, if it'll let me. Down here we've got Moff Gideon surrounded by two of his dark troopers. He is holding the dark saber. And that will do it for my Star Wars stuff showcase. I hope that you liked it, and if you would, consider leaving a subscribe and a like, and let me know if there is anything you would like to see me make or showcase in my next video. Thank you.